Pickle, let's go to the hotline, and let's bring in a day late, but not a dollar short. He is the play-by-play voice of the Texas Longhorns. He is the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. You can hear him on the Horn in Austin every weekday. He is the great Craig Way. Craig, how are you today?
I'm good, but if you think I'm not a dollar short, then you haven't seen my kid's college education tuition bill of late.
That's tough but fair. That's true. That's an oversight on my part, and I apologize.
I would say to you, Tep, and you already know it. College fun for Hank and for arrival number 2 to come. College fun. Get that puppy started. You'll thank me someday.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. All right. I should probably start. Pickle, can I borrow $10?
Nope.
Okay. Talking with Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. Craig, it is the most wonderful time of the year. The playoff brackets are out. The playoffs start tomorrow. I believe the first game kicks off I think there's like a 6-man game that kicks off at like 5 o'clock. So the playoffs start tomorrow within a matter of hours. I know that you've gone through and you've said that this is one of your favorite weeks of the year because of just the volume of win or go home games across the state. So my question for you is there one particular bracket, one particular division that has caught your eye the most, that you've spent more time glaring at, more time poring over than perhaps others?
Well, I will tell you this. I would say that the answer is yes, but I would say this has been building for some time. I think you're going to know where I'm going with this and it would make sense because you and I have talked about this quite a bit, and that is 5A, Division I, Region 3. Mm-hmm. That would appear to be now. So I said, wait, you meant Region 2, right? I could give you Region 2. Certainly, you have a defending state champion and the number 1 team in the state, and Denton Ryan. You've got Longview, you've got Highland Park, and you've got College Station. All fair game. The only reason why I mentioned Region 3 is it's got some unknown in it. It does have a state runner-up in Cedar Park in it, but what it also has is several really good teams that we're going to find out just how really good they are. Dripping Springs, Pflugerville Weiss, obviously Pato. We're going to find out Manor. I'll give you another one there that could be dangerous going. And Buda Johnson, who plays Cedar Park. So you got all those. That's why I think there's more intrigue in Region 3, whereas in Region 2, you've got known commodities. You have, 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that won state championships in over the past 5-6 years. They're in Region 2 alone. So Region 2, it's a fair assessment to say. Region 3, I think, has a little more mystery and intrigue for me.
We haven't talked a ton about what happened in Week 11 because a lot of it is just kind of like, we've got the next thing, and the next thing is playoffs, and playoffs are great. But I do want to go back to one of the big spotlight games. Pickle was down there at the Battle of the Lakes, Austin, Westlake, and Lake Travis, and Austin, Westlake with a resounding, one could say trouncing of Lake Travis in the Battle of the Lakes. My question for you, does that change your opinion at all about either of those teams, either obviously the positive for Westlake or in the negative for Lake Travis heading into the playoffs?
Not really. I will tell you, having visited with both head coaches in the last 24 hours, Hank Carter at Lake Travis yesterday, Todd Dodge in studio this morning on my show today, they pretty much said the things I thought they were going to say about it. Now, I did ask Coach Dodge point blank. I said, I've seen a lot of your games over the years. I've seen games when you were at South Lake Carroll. I've seen games at Westlake. I said, I saw games at North Texas where you had some big wins. You did, even in the brief time at the college level. I said, I've seen all of those. Would it be fair to say that as a regular season victory goes, especially in a rivalry game, that was as complete, as impressive, as good a performance as you have ever had? And he didn't hesitate and said, yes, it is. When you factor in the fact that Lake Travis is a really good team, that it was kind of a bowl game, if you will, because neither team was going to be hurt unless they got physically hurt, and both teams appear to have come out of it all right. And that it could only help. He said, I hope we've made Lake Travis better. He said, I'm rooting for Hank. I know they've made us better in some prior years when we weren't mentally ready to deal with them when they had the long winning streak in it. So it was some refreshing honesty about that. And Coach Carter, for his part yesterday, said it exposed some things we've got to get better at in terms of the kicking game and some areas to tighten up. But on the other side of that, Todd Dodd said that they have one of the big things they have at Westlake is the goal board, like a lot of coaches do. And you have your goal board, you try to reach all these goals. He said we only reached half of our goals on defense because Lake Travis can move the ball, and they did move the ball at times. They got 21 points in the game, which is more than what anybody else has done against Westlake this year. Of course, they gave up 63 though, but that tells me also that I think Lake Travis is going to be okay, at least for the time being, as these playoffs get underway.
Talking with Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation and hashtag TF Today. And so, Craig, I this is an odd question, but with the first round of the playoffs rolling around, it strikes me that the first round of the playoffs, especially when you get to the big in the 11-man classifications, because it's 64 teams, the first round of the playoffs can sometimes fall a little bit flat in the chaos department. Usually the chaos rolls on in about the second or third round is when things really start. It starts to hit the fan, as Pickle is so fond of paraphrasing. My question is, can you remember, is there a by-district, a first-round upset that really stands out to you from the past that perhaps if there's a coach listening who's thinking that they can throw their jock on the field on Friday night and advance to the next round, they can use as a what's the word I'm looking for? Reminder, yeah, good word. As a cautionary tale. Is there a first-round upset that you remember that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, there is. And before I get to it, I will tell you that the way the situation works with what you're referring to, your timing is exquisite, Ted. Huh. Again, I refer to the Todd Dodge conversation this morning, and he said, I said to my guys yesterday, fellas, how would you practice today if you knew this would be the final ever Tuesday practice you were ever going to have? Last one. And they all looked at him quizzically, and he said, the reason why I say that is every year there's a shocker in the first round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And probably just about every year an undefeated team gets knocked out in the first round. And I agreed with him on that. That happens just about every year. Certainly there are shockers, as we all know, like you said, and I think you made a great point of it last week when you were on Football Friday, when you said there will be a game nobody's thinking about right now, a matchup that all of a sudden everybody's going to go, wow, and I agree. Somewhere that game is lurking out there. We don't know which one it is yet, but he said that if you knew it was going to be your fight, would you practice your best practice ever? Because you're going to need to practice that hard to get ready, because no matter what computers or rankings or whatever people say about us, Hutto is going to come in ready to go on Friday night. He said, I know some of that is coach speak, but he said every year there was a shocker. Now, to your question, yeah, let me take you back. Well, you guys were alive, but not by much. Pickle might not have been alive. 1999? Were you alive?
2 years.
Okay, so you were a tot. Okay. I'm sorry, you're 1 year. This would have been 98. 1998. Yes. First round of 3A playoffs, you had a 4-time defending state champion in Sealy get absolutely shocked by Industrial in the by-district round. And we were getting ready to do the live show that night, the precursor of the current, Scoreboard Live. Back then it was called High School Extra Live. And our producer had a format to follow. We go 5A, 4A, 3A, which I'd kind of, showed him in the past. This is a good way to do it. We were doing it back then. He goes, no, we got to stick to the format. And I said, this is man bites dog. I told him, I said, we have got to lead with Sealy, and he was steadfast, refusing at first, and then he kind of stomped off into the control room. So I get on the set and I get ready, and I tell the guy who's handing me the scripts, get me the Sealy script. And he goes, but I thought you were starting. I said, get me the Sealy script. He's gonna think it through. And sure enough, he did. He said, all right, we're leaving with Sealy. So it was that deal. And I said, he goes, you get your way on that. I said, it's not getting my way. You made a very wise choice, because it was the shocker of the past few years that you had a team that went 63-1 and won 4 state titles that in a row get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. That was the shocker. So that's the one that always comes to mind for me, Tep, whenever I think of a by-district shocker, Sealy in 98.
It's Craig Way, the Texas High School Hall of Famer. I know that producer, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I know him very well. It is time to play our most cruel game to one another, which is which of these games would you rather go to? Now, the by-district round, as we mentioned, can be a little bit hit and miss sometimes, because you got some first place teams against some fourth place teams, things like that. But I think all of these are worthy, Craig. And I ask you, which of these 3 would you teleport to? Would you teleport to Shenandoah for spring and the Woodlands? Would you let me make sure I get the where this game is. Would you go to the 3A ranks to where is this? Come on. Where are you, Hallettsville and Cameron Yeo? Wherever Cameron Yeo and Hallettsville. That game is in Brenham. That's Thursday night in Brenham for Hallettsville and Cameron Yeo. Or would you go out west to Abernathy, or rather to Muleshoe, to watch Abernathy and Friona? Which of those 3 games would you take?
Well, here's the way you do it. You plug the Thursday game in, you go to the Thursday game, then you teleport on Fridays. That way you get 2 on a bonus weekend.
Okay, that's smart.
You see. And I'm gonna throw you one more, but of the 3 you mentioned, it's probably going to be the Abernathy Friona game for me. I think those are 2 evenly matched ones. But the other one I'm going to give you is the aforementioned Cedar Park and Buda Johnson.
Yes.
I mean, is this the week that Cedar Park goes out because they've kind of had an uneven up and down kind of season this year? They've had injuries. Of course, the coaching change with Coach Quintero taking over there. Is this the week that we have that where they get knocked out by a good, if stinging, Buda Johnson team, which a couple of weeks ago took it on the chin from Dripping Springs, who's really, really good? Do we see that happen this week? That's one of the more intriguing matchups to me as well, is Buda Johnson and Cedar Park. But for the purposes of your selection, I would say the Thursday and the Friday game. Can I have them both since one of them's on Thursday?
Fine.
Porque no los dos.
He cheated. He's Craig Way.
You don't even need to teleport me. I'll just drive over, I'll drive over for the first one in Brenham, and then I'll drive up to Muleshoe.
You'll drive from you might be the only person in history to ever drive from Brenham to Muleshoe. It's kind of like
if I did for College Station Abilene to call 2 state championships in one game, one of them, what will now be 6A, back in 94 was 5A, Plano and Katy. The other was 6-man between Amherst and Milford. I could pull this off.
He's Craig Way. He's a Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. He normally joins us every Tuesday here on Texas Football Today. Listen to him on the Horn in Austin and listen to his fine work when Texas plays Kansas this Saturday. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend, and I will talk to you tomorrow, I presume, on your show, and then I will see you on Friday. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.